Yeah, I don't think that's a fair thing to say because anything can really happen. And
New leaked footage of Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka has shocked the tennis world, but not for the reasons everyone expected. What's captured on camera isn't just drama or rivalry, it's something far deeper, and what it reveals could change everything we thought we knew about them, and about the game itself. Rivalry reset or reputation risk. Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka were never just opponents. They were opposites that made each other matter. Gauff's rise has been marked by composure beyond her years, a quiet intensity that recalls Serena's focus, but with a different kind of grace. Sabalenka, meanwhile, embodies pure athletic energy, bold, emotional, relentless. Their rivalry has been the heartbeat of women's tennis since 2023.
I don't know, I feel like mentally I was a little bit overwhelmed with everything that came afterwards, so I didn't feel like I had that enough time to do, I guess, celebrate and then also like get back into it.
But after the leak, the story no longer fits neatly into headlines about match results or Grand Slam titles. This is reputation territory now, the kind that sponsors, brands, and journalists study closely. If the clip shows Sabalenka in a vulnerable or volatile state, critics will call it confirmation of her temper problem. If it catches Gauff in a frustrated or unguarded moment, her calm and collected image suddenly looks like a facade. That's what makes this so volatile. Tennis thrives on character archetypes, the prodigy versus the veteran, the ice queen versus the firebrand. But when those archetypes break, when reality slips through the cracks, people pay attention. The footage has already been interpreted 100 ways. To some, it's a power shift. To others, a trap. And to both athletes, it's a test of how to survive the world's gaze when the match never ends. Behind the scenes, PR teams have gone silent. Sponsors are watching closely. The sport's governing bodies refuse to comment. Silence has become strategy, and that silence fuels speculation. Every rivalry in sport depends on balance, but when reputation enters the mix, balance disappears. This isn't just a rivalry reset, it's a rebranding moment neither athlete asked for. The question now isn't who wins the next match, it's who wins the narrative. In the end, the leak has made one thing painfully clear. Tennis isn't just about serves and sets anymore. It's about storytelling. And the most dangerous stories are the ones athletes never get to write. Privacy, exposure, and the digital age of sport. In 2025, privacy in professional sports is an illusion. Every interaction, every warm-up, every post-match gesture can become public property in an instant. The leaked Gauff-Sabalenka footage is the latest reminder that athletes no longer own their moments. The internet does.
Honestly, when I immediately got off on court, I didn't feel that way because I'm such a competitor and I don't want to use like anything as like a scapegoat or something like that.
It's not just about the leak itself, it's about the system that allows it. Tournaments are saturated with cameras, staff carry phones, fans live stream from the stands. Every angle of every event is captured. One technical lapse, one unsecured feed, and suddenly, a private exchange turns into global entertainment. What's worse is how little protection exists. Who owns that footage? Who's responsible for its release? Legally, ethically, emotionally, no one's sure. And in that uncertainty, exploitation thrives. The video spreads, accounts monetize the views, and algorithms reward the controversy. For Coco Gauff, this breach threatens more than privacy. It threatens control over her image, something she's built with care since age 15. For Aryna Sabalenka, who has often been portrayed as unpredictable, it risks amplifying that narrative unfairly. Both women are victims of a system that demands access but punishes authenticity. The digital age has changed what it means to be an athlete. The boundary between public and private no longer exists. There's only the feed, endless, hungry, and unforgiving. Once something hits it, it's not just permanent, it's profitable. The irony? Fans crave authenticity but devour scandal. They say they want to see the real athlete, but when that reality doesn't fit the brand, it becomes controversy. Gauff and Sabalenka now find themselves caught between truth and image, between control and exposure. Their responses, or lack thereof, will shape how future athletes handle digital privacy. Because in today's world, being a champion isn't just about lifting trophies, it's about surviving visibility. screens, shares, and the viral spiral. The leak didn't just circulate, it detonated. Within minutes, the footage became impossible to contain. Screenshots filled timelines. Commentaries were stitched and reposted. Within hours, the story had left the tennis world and entered mainstream discourse.
I'm one of those people, I do whatever I can to make it better, and I feel like this is the decision I need to do.
What began as a clip became a symbol. People weren't even talking about the video itself anymore. They were talking about what it meant. Analysts debated intent. Fans built theories. Commentators speculated about internal drama. Every retweet added fuel. Every exclusive breakdown made it grow. The speed was astonishing. By the time either athlete could respond, the clip had already been viewed millions of times. Edits removed context, captions added emotion, and soon, the narrative wasn't just viral, it was weaponized. The internet had turned competition into content, and the athletes into characters. But this is the cost of modern fame: visibility without control. The moment you go viral, you no longer own your story. Every new post becomes part of your brand, whether you want it or not. For Gauff and Sabalenka, this marks a new kind of rivalry, not on the court, but on the timeline. How each handles the storm will define how the world sees them next. The footage may fade, but the impression it leaves will linger. Because once the algorithm decides you're a story, it doesn't stop telling it. The media's double game. The aftermath of the leak revealed a truth as old as fame itself. The media doesn't just report stories, it shapes them. The footage of Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka wasn't treated as an accidental breach of privacy, it was treated as an opportunity. Every outlet, from major sports networks to gossip blogs, framed it differently, each bending the narrative to fit its preferred tone.
To be honest, with some of the drama, I feel like it happens frequently on tour, but because it's here, it gets more social media clicks.
Some painted Gauff as the composed victim of a media circus. Others portrayed Sabalenka as the aggressor caught in an emotional spiral. But the most telling aspect was how fast these interpretations emerged. Before either athlete could speak, their roles were already assigned. Headlines like "Sabalenka snaps at practice" or "Gauff caught in locker room tension" appeared within hours. Context was irrelevant, engagement was the goal. This is the double game. The same media that celebrates athletes for their poise and personality is also the one that profits from their unguarded moments. It's a cycle that rewards vulnerability, not empathy. Every emotional outburst becomes a clickable thumbnail. Every tense stare becomes a headline. And the audience, conditioned to consume drama, plays right along. Even mainstream journalists fall into the trap. Commentators who once praised Gauff's composure or Sabalenka's grit now dissect their body language like behavioral experts. The footage becomes an ecosystem, feeding talk shows, YouTube analysis, and think pieces that stretch a few seconds of video into days of speculation. The irony is brutal. Athletes are trained to control their narratives, to manage emotions, to maintain professionalism. But in the age of viral media, control is an illusion. No PR team, no statement, no silence can outpace the internet's appetite. By the time the truth catches up, the narrative has already evolved. For Gauff and Sabalenka, this leak became more than a privacy breach. It became a lesson in media survival, a test of who can endure the distortion and still stand tall. In the modern sports landscape, image isn't just shaped by performance, it's sculpted by exposure. The camera doesn't just capture you, it consumes you. And once the footage is out, you're no longer an athlete in the public eye. You're a storyline in the media machine. Behind closed doors, reactions within the circuit. Inside the locker rooms, the leak sparked conversations no one expected to have out loud. Players whispered between matches, coaches held private briefings, and even officials treaded carefully. The footage of Gauff and Sabalenka didn't just expose two stars, it exposed how fragile the trust within the tennis world circulated. Who leaked it? How was it recorded? And more importantly, who had access? Some insiders speculated it came from security footage. Others believed it was filmed secretly by someone close to the players. Regardless of the source, one fact stood out. Someone inside the system had broken the code. Among players, reactions split. Some sympathized with Gauff and Sabalenka, viewing them as victims of invasion. Others, less publicly, saw it as a reminder that fame brings exposure. It could happen to any of us, one top-ranked player allegedly said off record, and that's what's terrifying. The coaches were even more rattled. Training sessions, once sacred and strategic, now feel like potential content traps. Phones are banned, conversations are held away from cameras. Players who once shared open camaraderie now guard their words. A culture of caution has replaced comfort. The WTA, aware of the backlash, promised to investigate. But fans weren't waiting. Speculation turned into amateur sleuthing, with users tracking tournament schedules, frame rates, and camera angles to identify who filmed it. The paranoia spread faster than the truth. Behind the scenes, both Gauff and Sabalenka reportedly retreated, not in fear, but in recalibration. Privacy isn't just about safety now, it's about dignity. When you can't trust the space around you, every moment feels staged. This is what the modern sports circuit looks like when transparency turns toxic. The same openness that connects fans to athletes also leaves them exposed. For every highlight reel that inspires, there's a leaked clip waiting to define. The Gauff-Sabalenka footage was a wake-up call, not just for players, but for the entire ecosystem. It reminded everyone that the line between coverage and surveillance has nearly vanished. And when that line disappears, what remains is performance, even when no one should be performing. The business of scandal. For all the outrage surrounding the footage, one truth cuts through the noise: controversy sells. Within 48 hours of the leak, engagement metrics across tennis-related platforms surged. Views, comments, searches, sponsorship mentions, all spiked dramatically. Scandal, as always, drives revenue.
And yeah, it's just tough. I think, I feel like it's in the right direction. And I think for me, it's trying not to go back to old habits.
Sports networks know this. Algorithms know this. Even brands, quietly watching, know this. The footage became a marketing catalyst. Clips were reposted under reaction thumbnails that drew millions of impressions. Ad placements soared. Even unrelated tennis videos saw a boost, thanks to the sudden influx of attention. Behind the numbers lies a harsh equation. Every scandal equals clicks, and every click equals money. What was once a private moment between two professionals became fuel for a global attention economy. The more people talked, argued, and speculated, the more valuable the controversy became. But for the athletes, that value is one-sided. Gauff and Sabalenka don't earn a cent from the virality surrounding their names. They carry the cost, emotionally, reputationally, professionally, while others reap the profit. This is the imbalance at the heart of modern fame. Visibility pays, but only for the platforms, not the people being seen. Sponsors tread cautiously. Some distance themselves quietly, fearing association with controversy. Others lean in subtly, capitalizing on the increased attention. The business world doesn't take sides. It simply measures reach. Morality becomes a marketing metric. The public, too, becomes complicit. Every share, every view, every comment reinforces the system. Outrage becomes engagement. Sympathy becomes traffic. And soon, empathy is replaced by analytics. What the Gauff-Sabalenka situation proves is that scandal isn't an accident in the modern sports machine. It's an outcome. A byproduct of constant coverage, monetized platforms, and the human instinct to look when told not to. In this ecosystem, no one's really innocent. Everyone participates, even the ones watching quietly. Public apologies and private consequences. When the dust began to settle, all eyes turned to the next move, not on the court, but on social media. The expectation was clear: a statement, an explanation, maybe even an apology. But neither Coco Gauff nor Aryna Sabalenka rushed to speak. Their silence became its own message.
I understood what she was trying to say. It was a terrible condition day. I don't think I was playing well either, so I understood where she was coming from with that, obviously.
Both athletes were reportedly in contact with their teams, strategizing carefully. A wrong word could reignite the storm. A misinterpreted sentence could fuel headlines for another week. They had to choose between transparency and self-preservation, between honesty and control. Eventually, Gauff broke the silence first. Her tone was measured, professional, calm. She didn't deny what was seen, but reframed it: context, humanity, emotion. She spoke not as a scandalized figure, but as a young woman navigating impossible scrutiny. Her response was praised for its composure, but also criticized for its caution. Some wanted more vulnerability, others wanted more defiance. Sabalenka, days later, addressed it with characteristic bluntness. She acknowledged frustration, denied wrongdoing, and reminded the public that athletes are human too. Her words carried weight, not just as defense, but as defiance. She refused to play the role the internet assigned her, but even after both spoke, the damage was done. The footage couldn't be unseen. It lived on through commentary, edits, and endless re-uploads. The private consequences extended far beyond public perception. Trust between players, staff, and organizations eroded. The sense of safety within locker rooms shifted. Every athlete who watched the saga unfold learned something unspoken. In this digital era, your worst moment can become the world's favorite content, and no amount of apology can take it back. The court, once a sanctuary, now feels like a stage. Every movement, every whisper, every glance carries risk. The Gauff-Sabalenka leak wasn't just a breach, it was a warning. Because in today's world, your reputation doesn't live in your hands anymore. It lives in everyone else's. Before you go, remember, this story is far from finished. The leaked footage may have changed everything, but the truth behind it is still unfolding. What you saw was only a glimpse. The emotion, the clarity, the redemption. If you want to see what happens next, the aftermath, the responses, and how Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka move forward from it all, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. The next revelation could rewrite their story forever.